Curtis Jones in the first half did the damage. First time he scored twice in a Premier League game, and then a special moment from Trent Alexander-Arnold in the second. The famous punch was there. Let's hear from his captain, Jordan Henderson.
Jordan, congratulations. What do you think was the most important quality your team showed today to get that win?
Sorry,
was that a tough question?
It's a good question. I think there's a lot of different factors. Consistency has been really good over the last few weeks and performance level, and I think that was the same again today. We had to figure the game out in the first maybe 10 minutes. We knew it would be a bit wild with the crowd and the way they started, but I thought after that we composed ourselves, played some great stuff and scored some brilliant goals.
It was a victory made in Liverpool, wasn't it, with the two Scousers on the score sheet?
Yeah, brilliant goals, really good. Mo's great cross for the first one, and then a good bit of play, good pass to Curtis, and what a finish for the second one. So yeah, some brilliant goals, and obviously then Trent's free kick to wrap it up.
Just on Curtis, obviously there's a few players who've featured a lot during this winning run for you, and he's one of the ones who started all the matches. From your position alongside him, what have you noticed that's been different about him in these recent matches? Confidence
and work rate and effort without the ball. I know a lot of people will talk about the goals, his overall play with the ball. You know, he very rarely loses the ball, keeps it really well, gets some great spaces, but then his reaction to win it back when we lose the ball, and he's a great athlete as well, so that's been a big plus for us over the last few weeks.
You're in your best form of the season. Can you still make the Champions League, or have you left this run just a little bit too late maybe?
We'll find out over the next couple of games. It is quite late, but all we can do is try to perform at our best every game from now till the end of the season, and the next two try and win them, and then see where it takes us come the end of the season.
That was interesting from the captain about Curtis Jones. As I say, it's the first time he scored two in a Premier League game, and he'd only scored four in his first 63. In this run of games, he's got consistency, he's got confidence, and he's now adding goals to it as well.
Well, he always did score a lot of goals in the youth level, Steve. In fact, you know, while he was playing in youth football, he was always quite an attacking player, you know, playing as one of the three going forward, actually. In the Liverpool team, he seems to play, since he's been in the first team, he seems to play one of the three midfield spaces. But in many ways, that could be a blessing in disguise, because that's an area of the park that's quite weak for Liverpool, if any place at the moment. And it's a place where Jurgen Klopp is certainly looking to strengthen. He's got a massive opportunity in that position, you know, and today's goals will do a lot to strengthen those claims of taking a place. I mentioned in the first half, or at half time, that was a brilliant goal. Really, really difficult skill. Face, yes, he's poor in defence, but Mo Salah spots this run, I'm convinced of it, and knocks it to the back post, and it's a control finish, Karen.
It is, as you mentioned it earlier, Mo. Like, a lot of people try and put the laces through it and just smash it, but he comes in and pretty much side foots it in there. But it is running off the ball, which has really been impressing me. This one's a late run into the box. There's that side foot, nice little cushioning, and 100% Mo Salah's picked him out there. But it's just his time and his ability to stretch the play. But I do think it's the evolution of Liverpool getting Trent into midfield then means that he can do these runs. He's now not a midfielder, he's like a centre forward, and I think they've all kind of pushed it, and it's a brilliant finish. Like, to be fair, you'll know more about this than me, but it's a great reactive finish, isn't it?
Well, he makes a run to start with, and he is offside. He actually then slows it down, and I think he can probably take it on his back foot here and hit it with his left foot, but he's aware of what's around him. He's aware there's a full-back, Ricardo, right behind him. And so he keeps it on his right foot and almost takes a touch inside and then strikes it early. I think the striking of it early is what probably hurts the goalkeeper there, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's a really, really good finish. And how do you cheat the goalkeeper? How do you get it past him? Well, that is by either hitting it early, hitting it wide, or top corner, or near the post. It's very clear that he doesn't see it until late. From one angle, it looks like he's supposed to save it, but when this angle here, it looks like it's fairly close to him. But when you see it from behind, you see how much pace the ball's got. That finish is just good.
Just remind everyone where the goalkeeper is from, which country again, please?
Is he Danish?
Danish.
Yeah, well. But, you know, it's a quality finish, and you know, there are some finishes. Well, you can talk a lot about how he ends up with the ball in that situation, and you can pinpoint a few players from Leicester there. They're probably out of position. At the end of the day, when you see quality goals, you've got to say, hey, that was quality. The run was quality. It was timed right. And then the little touch with his right foot to put it perfect for his finish. Yeah, it's just quality.
Dare I suggest, even you in your heyday wouldn't have stopped Trent Alexander-Arnold's free kick.
This is unbelievable. And we've been warned because he's done it before. But this free kick, it actually is from free kick, facing a free kick as a goalkeeper. These are the worst. When they move the ball, because then you have to move. And when we look at Iversen, he actually takes a little tiny step and he's got to get nowhere near it, don't get me wrong. But he looks far away because he takes a little step. And that you have to adjust your position in order for that little touch. It's very, very clever the way they did that, the way they as a team lined that free kick up. So they forced Iversen to be even further over to where the ball actually goes in because they put two men next to the wall. And so when the ball rolls, he's got to go in behind those guys. And I mean, you got no chance. I'm not gonna give advice on how you take free kicks and goalkeepers, of course, but this is just so good. Because if you look at Iversen now, right? If you look, as soon as Salah touches it, he takes a little step. You see that little step there? And once you've done that, that's it. If it goes to that side, that is, you see.
But Peter, some people will say on that last clip, some people say that's goalkeeper's side.
I mean, it's not.
The wall is protecting one side. Why does he step that way?
Because if the ball goes that way, you cannot be.
You suggesting he should save this?
I'm not saying he should save it, but he's nowhere near it. I'm just thinking, why do you step to the right?
Look at the guys, the Liverpool guys blocking his view. As soon as the ball goes over there, now he's got to be in line with the ball, so he must take that little step. Otherwise, that side is completely open.
Yeah,
the other side is completely open. I mean, this is A1 in how you take a penalty. It's a free kick. It's fantastic, and for me, probably man of the match scoring that. He was absolutely outstanding today.
Yeah, and it's not a coincidence because we've been in the archives. We go back to Stamford Bridge in 2019 against Chelsea. Yeah, same combination.
Yeah, that's 2 goals from Trent Alexander-Arnold and 2 assists, I guess, for Mo Salah. I'm not too happy with the player getting an assist for that, to be honest.
I would.
Well, I'd take it, but I mean, that's an assist, is it? Anyway, it's all about the finish. Identical, isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely identical. The only thing that's a little bit different is the hairstyle. Apart from that, it was identical.
It looks like a baby there, doesn't it? It's like a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
But it's perfect. Great. It's great stuff. It's quality, and you got to hold your hands up and say, well, you got beaten by a quality strike there. But from a Leicester's point of view in all this, they have to have a very, very long look at themselves. And that's not just the players or the managers, that's the whole football club. The way you think about this, 7 years ago, 7 years, Steve, they won the Premier League. The whole world was watching them. They were brilliant. No one ever wins the Premier League without being the best team. No one has ever done that. So they were the best team and they were fantastic. Only a couple of years ago, they won the FA Cup. Only a couple of years ago, they got pipped by Manchester United one year, Liverpool the next year, on the last day to be in the Champions League. This is a club that's that top, that part of the Premier League. They now find themselves second from bottom, and it looks like by the fixtures they've got left, they've got no chance. I mean, everyone at that club needs to have a serious look at themselves.
OK, well, one man he'll still be believing is their manager, the man who came in to try and save them. Let's see what he thinks after that 3-0 defeat. Here is Dean Smith.
Dean, in the circumstances, it's obviously a damaging night. What did you make of it?
Thought we started the game really well. First 30 minutes, conceded an awful goal from our point of view. We wanted to starve their midfield of the ball and make it go backwards as often as we could without the ball. We wanted to play in their half when we had it and make their centre-halves run back to their goal. And I thought we'd done that really well. But, one ball from the goalkeeper beats our back four and they score from that. And then they score another one soon after. And all of a sudden you're chasing a game against a supremely talented, athletic team. And, it was tough for the last 10, 15 minutes of the first half.
You spoke in your pre-match press conference quite a bit about individual mistakes and reactions to goals. Were those problems again this evening?
Certainly problems for the first goal. There's a lot we can do to deal with that. It's one ball over the top. we get done with the ball, we misread the header. It's a great ball to the far post, but Jones gets a run off the back of us, and it's really tough to come back from against teams like Liverpool and the way they keep the ball. They wanted to dominate possession. I thought we made it tough for them first 30 minutes, but goals change games. Marginally onside, I think, as was the second. And we wanted to try and make a game of it in the second half, and we did at times. But unfortunately, the third goal kills the game. It's never a free kick. The referees made a poor decision. Hendo's overran the ball. Johnny wins the ball, and Hendo's on the way down. Does he make contact after he wins the ball? Yeah, of course he does. That's football. That's contact sport. It's not a free kick, and that kills the game then. So, really disappointed that, we've had 2 goals against us that have been marginally onside, and, a free kick that shouldn't be.
Does that first goal knock you too much off course, though? Like you say, solid half an hour. For the first 10 minutes, you're on top, then you're looking solid. And all of a sudden, you could have been 3-0 down sort of 5 minutes after that first goal.
I didn't think the first goal. I thought the second goal, it looked like we had frazzled minds from the second kick-off. Liverpool want the ball in front. They want to go and press, and they've got supreme athletes that go and do that. And we played into their hands straight from the kick-off, and they could have, if Dan had made a big save, made it 3-0. And that's where, we have to have clearer minds, thinking clear under pressure. We have to do that. We know what we've got to do now for 2 games.
And does then, once you have that setback, with a mixture of apathy and anger, does that then start to spread to the crowd?
No, I think the crowd are here to see us try and win football games, and when you're 2 goals down at half time, they get frustrated as anybody else and disappointed. The support was there for us, but they want to see them. They want to see the players win. They've seen too many defeats this season, so you understand that when goals go against you.
Yeah, the Leicester fans have seen 22 defeats this season, to be perfectly exact. So that's the situation now. Those 4 teams all have 6 points left to play for. Forest at home to Arsenal, away at Palace. Everton away at Wolves, home to Bournemouth. Leeds away at West Ham, home to Spurs. And Leicester away at Newcastle and home to West Ham. Looking at it, Karen, it's very difficult to predict. In Leicester's scenario, do you think they might have to win both of those games?
Yeah, and you want to have that attitude. You don't want to be going in the last game of the season knowing you've got to win to stay up. You should be trying to win every single game. But I think going to Newcastle, when what's at stake for Newcastle, is such a big ask. And you're thinking, where will West Ham be in terms of that final game of the season? What's kind of in it for them at that point? So for me, they've got to get something at Newcastle. I just don't see that happening. And I think you look in the eyes of the team now, you're looking at them. I just can't see it happening, to be honest. I think that it looks very defeatist at the moment, and it's a big ask. And I can't see how they keep clean sheets. That's been my biggest issue with them.
Yeah, I think Leicester have got to get at least 4 points. I can't see them doing it. I think Leeds have probably got the hardest fixtures there, arguably. And they've got, the second lowest points out of those. And then I think Everton have got points on the board and they've got the easiest fixtures. And Nottingham Forest have got even more points. Difficult fixtures. I can see it being Leicester and Leeds, I must admit, joining Southampton based on those fixtures.
In terms of Leicester, Peter, when they made the decision to remove Brendan Rodgers from his post, 8 games have surpassed, 24 points to play for. They've picked up 5 on reflection. Do you think they'd do the same again? When you look at West Ham and Forest, who are above both of them, and they're the 2 teams who've stuck with their managers.
Yeah. That is, of course, a very, very difficult question to answer. But there's no doubt about, when you look at what Brendan has done for the football club, he's been absolutely fantastic. I mean, he hasn't spent any money. He's made the money, and he's still built on the team, and he's still created results. And then all of a sudden, I'm convinced a couple of the players that we've seen tonight that was added in the summer were not players that he wanted to have. I'm convinced of that, because they don't look like the Brendan Rodgers players that he normally go for. And a couple of them, Fast, for instance, I mean, it just hasn't been good enough. He's been part of all this confusion. Of course, Johnny Evans, the captain, has been injured since October. That plays in, but you still have to play with the players that you have. So you cannot make excuses in that way. But I don't know. I mean, if I wouldn't have done that, because Brendan is a fantastic coach, and I think Brendan could have, with the knowledge that he's got of the players, he could have realised now's the situations like this. Now we have to do something different. But it's hypothetical. You can never know, can you?
No. Oh, Brendan Rodgers, a former Liverpool manager, of course. Let's hear from the man who succeeded him. He's done pretty well, hasn't he? And again tonight, Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen, obviously the result is good. Performance too, pretty satisfying?
Very, very much so. Needed 15 minutes roundabout. Didn't look at the watch actually. To figure out how we can build up, how we can control, how we can build up controlled. Then we were flexible enough. Then we got everybody on the ball facing the other goal, could pass through the lines, mixed it up like the first goal showed. Ali with this long ball in behind. It's always an opportunity and possibility. Obviously, it's like a ball for Mo as well. But how we push up there, how we arrive there. Passing really good, sensational first goal, top second goal, the passing again. Should have scored pretty much immediately after the third one, I'm pretty sure. Who missed that? Cody? Or was it Curtis?
It was Cody, yeah.
Cody, okay. Yeah, here we scored. Wow. Nice.
You're rewatching, which goal was that? The monitor. Second. What a lovely goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Boys in a good moment. So then between 55 and 75, pretty much, it was a bit too open for me. We didn't control that much anymore. We can do that much better. But it's, again, they wanted, obviously, put a proper fight in. We avoided it most of the time. It's difficult for them, obviously, when they have to play with long balls. So our high press was good, not for winning the balls, just to put them under pressure in the long balls. We should win with Virgil and Ibu. Picking up second balls, that was all really, really good. The boys were really focused on the necessary stuff. And then third goal, what a wonderful little routine. Love it. And so, yeah, good win, super important for us. I think with that we are definitely play European League next year, which is great. And now we have 2 more games to come. And difficult games. Aston Villa, my God, they play a super second part of the season and fight for Europe as well. So that will be tricky, but for tonight, I'm really happy.
We've just had Curtis Jones and Trent Alexander-Arnold in, and you've had a lot of credit for the first goal, for getting Curtis to make more runs into the box, and for the third goal, which is apparently routine from Stamford Bridge, which he said, boys, should we have a little try of that again?
Yeah, but that's the best free kick routine we have, and the most successful. We should have scored with that already 3 times, but we defended it ourselves. I think we were not
Jordan Henderson, didn't it? Where was that?
I don't mention the name. Everybody can watch it on YouTube.
Sorry, Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. So we had to work a little bit on the protection, but it's now we can from there we can take it direct. We can roll it both sides, so it must be a bit more likely that we score from situations like this. The amount of times we are in that area, and the amount of times that the opponent has to make a foul, we have to use it more often. So for tonight, I take it. By the way, I said already that's my goal, because I don't tell him.
We saw you.
Yeah, he will not do it. Yes, in the first, Curtis definitely has to arrive in the box, and he did. But apart from that, he played a really good game.
He did. 7 in a row then for Liverpool. They're putting the pressure at least on Newcastle and Manchester United. Brighton at home, Leicester at home, and Chelsea away for Newcastle. Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, and Fulham at home for Manchester United. 4 to play for Brighton. Anyway, Karen, you can see a chink of light if Newcastle and Manchester United slip up?
Newcastle playing Brighton. That, for me, is the game there. There's still a lot in it for Brighton as well, and I just think the form they're in, that might be the potential one in terms of Newcastle and give a bit of an opportunity. But I think if they can get past that, then I think Newcastle should be pretty confident. But equally, Villa's not, I hate to say it, I really do. Villa, are flying at the moment, and that's a difficult fixture. But I think it is really cliche, but Jordan Henderson says it, they've just got to do what they can do. It's not in their hands. They've just got to see if there's any slip-ups. But just the Brighton-Newcastle one's the one that really stands out.
all if buts and maybes, Michael, but even if they just started this run 2 games earlier, Liverpool, they would be right on their heels now with this run of form.
They're the team with the momentum, aren't they, at the moment? Newcastle and Manchester United definitely looking over their shoulders. Newcastle probably need 5 points out of those 3 games, but 3 difficult games. Manchester United needs 6 points out of theirs 3. So, you know, and that's assuming Liverpool win their 2 games. So it's still all up in the air, but Liverpool are making it difficult for them.
Michael, Karen, Peter, thank you very much indeed for your company. 7 in a row for Liverpool, but the problems are really mounting for Leicester. From the 4 of us, we'll see you soon.